Another very good way to understand animation, besides the consecution of poses through the time, is the overlap of actions. Like the moment we finish one action, another one began. So I always try to keep this in mind overall when I'm jumping into this stage of adding breakdowns, because I always like to, let's say, create that communication in between the poses or whatever the beats are in a way that is very organic and is very fluid. This really helps a lot to create like a very good sense of flow, of aliveness. So let's say that by looking of overlapping of actions, we are using, let's say, the end of some of the poses or the end of some movements as the beginning of the next movement. For example, if we look at this part where the character is just bringing his arms up, you can see that that feels like also like a kind of like an anticipation, right? Actually, the whole pose, that whole bit, can be considered something like an anticipation. He is bringing his arms up to then doing this kind of posture, right? So if we look at how the character is coming up, the moment that he is finishing that tiny little, there is like a little overshoot here, the character then goes into the next pose. Let's have a closer look.
But what you do is you just think.
So as you can see here, I'm bringing here the arms. They are coming up little by little. We have like a first kind of accent, one accent, and then the next one, there's like a tiny little bit overshoot where the hands are going down, up, and then are going down a bit. So this kind of overshoot or coming down is like the beginning of the next movement as well. You see how that kind of like the end of the overshoot, which is coming down, is bringing the hands down and continues that movement for the next transition or for the next breakdowns that leads us to that movement, to that kind of gesture where he's like, right? Another very good example is when the character is bringing this arm is coming down here, right? And the arm is coming in this direction. So I'm creating like a little bit of a residual movement that is going to be very similar to what is doing next, right? So the hand is coming down. It's like a little bit of residual movement. And then the expression of bringing the hand to one side or the other starts. Right. So I would say that I think that we should always aim for that kind of organic kind of transition where whatever we are coming from leads us to the next movement. And that's, to me, it's a very fun process to do. I did it in a very also simple way when the character is just if we look at the eyes, okay, let's look at the pupils, okay, how the pupils are going in this movement that we have here,
and
how he is going from thinking just with the pupils. He is thinking. This leads into a movement that, let's say, that is in the same trajectory. If you see the eyes are doing this movement, right, and then it does, the eyes feels like they're coming down at the same time. We start like a blink, right? So even that movement of the iris and the pupils going in one direction and starting to go down leads into a blink. Right, if you see that.
And
then not only that, it feels like the whole eye has gone around and then come back into the center, right? At the end of the blinking.
And sort of
right? So even with a very small part of the body, you can do those kind of ideas. You can interconnect everything that is happening. In this part, we're connecting those simple eye-darts or our movement with a blink and with a new pose, which is this pose of getting lost within myself, thinking about how to say what I have to say.